Hey, we're back. And we are back, everybody. Welcome. Podcaster Comedy, Season 1, Episode 14.
Yeah.
And
I'm Paul Stapfer. How y'all doing?
And I'm Joe King. We're your hosts. We got a fantastic show for you today. We are joined by one of the best comics in Canada. He's a top headliner that tours all over the country with all kinds of accreditations. You've got some top-selling albums on iTunes.
Yeah, that's right.
And does tons of festivals, everything. Does it all. This is the man, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Brian Stollery.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
To the podcast. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks. A pleasure to be on your podcast, fellas.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks.
Where are you calling us from today?
I'm from my home office. I had to close the doors behind me because otherwise you could see the messy person that I am.
And the bodies.
Oh man, I'm very messy. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. It doesn't show. What I use if I'm doing something from home to hide the messiness, it's always the upward angle.
Nice.
The upward angle so they can't see.
Clever.
Right. Yeah.
Beneath me a sea of dirty laundry.
What do they call?
Wrappers.
What do they call that? The people that collect a whole bunch of stuff.
Hoarders.
Hoarder. That's right. Yes, I think I would be possibly classified as a hoarder. I just don't throw stuff out. I don't know where I got that from, but I don't bring a lot of stuff into my home, but I don't throw a lot out either. So,
what you do never leaves, kind of thing.
That's right. Well, it's like,
kind of the same way.
It's like the old dad thing, which is like, I might be able to use that at some time, and then I'll be kicking myself because I threw it out, right?
I have a dad who's got a garage full of stuff that's never goes anywhere.
Sure, right. Have you seen that video? There's a video out where the son is they set up a bed with the father and son are setting up the son's bed, and then they need something to put underneath the bed, a 2x4 or whatever, and then it shows the dad, his eyes light up, and he goes, "Fuck, I know, I've got something for this," and they show him racing down the hall and into his garage, and then he goes through this box of pieces of wood, and he goes, "I found it. Like, the men have this memory of shit they've got, right?
Yeah.
And then they finally bring it. He brings it out and puts it in. It fits perfectly, of course, right?
Well, for him, there'd be one word running through his mind, and that would be justification.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
It justifies everything.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got this show going, and I'm very excited to be doing this show.
Yeah, we've as I say, this is the 14th episode.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 14.
I know.
Right.
And on top of that, hundreds of shorts that have been made out of the videos as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That are garnering pretty high views.
Nice.
I think we're up to 4 subscribers now. So it's fantastic.
That's
right.
It's impressive, actually.
We're gunning to break double digits on the views.
Yeah, that's right.
We're hoping soon.
I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed. I'm season 1, episode 14. I don't know who was before me, but just give me a list and I'll have them.
Well,
you're the biggest star we've had on so far.
That's so cute.
It was climbing the ladder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Biggest star is the biggest ego.
To be perfectly honest, it's because we were just starting out. It was a building process, so
sure.
We were having kind of random people on for a while type thing till we kind of got the formula down and sort of figured out what we're doing.
Yeah, I see. So episode 1 was Paul's mother, that kind of thing?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. She was doing well.
That was a good interview. That was
so much profanity.
I thought she had a little thing for me. So let's talk about how about your career here as comedy. Like you're doing fantastic. Comedy's your main, it's your income. It's what you do for a living.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you always know you were going to be a stand-up comic? Did you know from childhood? Like, how did it start for you?
Well, the way it started, it was that I was, I went to a bar, and some comedians were there, and I watched the show, and I thought, you know what, I could do that. Well, it turns out I couldn't, but I haven't stopped making it a career. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Right,
kidding.
right.
I was in theater school. I went to theater school, graduated as an actor, trained in Shakespeare, and then I decided that was I like to write and perform. I preferred that than having to stick to a script. So I preferred to I liked the idea of doing stand up more than acting. So I gradually got out of acting and into doing stand up because you're the writer, you're the producer, you're the director.
Right.
You're completely in charge. So I think it fits my anal personality, right? I mean, as an actor, you've got to listen to the director, you got to listen to the stage manager if it's the theater.
Yeah, dance,
And
monkey dance.
there's all sorts of people that have input into what you're doing, and I preferred to just be the one that was in charge, basically. So it sounds arrogant, but it happens to be the truth.
No,
Go ahead.
It makes sense, actually.
It's crazy because you don't hear about a lot of classically trained Shakespearean stage actors going, this is good, but I'm going into stand up. Like Sir Alec Guinness didn't go to an open mic, or Richard Harris didn't just show up at this comedy show.
Right,
asking, can I do 5?
It's interesting because I'm getting older, but the memory of the Shakespeare still I'm still there. I mean, I was just quoting Shakespeare just the other day. A speech that I used to do as correct me if I'm wrong. Henry IV, I think. Yeah. Once more into the breach, dear friends. Once more. Close the wall up with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility, etc., etc. So these words are like worms in your head. So I mean, it's probably not surprising because it takes a lot to learn that stuff. To me, anyway.
I was gonna ask if you put on the accent when you do it.
Yes, once more onto the breach, dear friends. You have to do it that way.
You have
That's
to.
right. You can't do it in the Canadian accent, right? Once more onto the breach, dear friends. Once more, you can't really do that. But you're right. You need that English accent.
Yeah,
I knew him, Horatio.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, do it really, Berta.
I knew him, buddy.
Berta. Yeah, that's right. That's funny.
So let me ask you, how long have you been doing stand-up as a full-on career?
Yeah, I've lost count, but it's over 30 years for sure. It's over 30 years. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't. I don't
started
keep
in
track
Calgary?
of that. No, I started in Toronto.
Okay.
First time I stepped on stage was the old Yuck Yucks in Yorkville, which is, Yorkville has changed, and I don't even think that building is there anymore. I'm pretty sure it isn't. But Yuck Yucks has moved numerous locations in Toronto, and so that, I mean, it was a black box, and it was down on a lower level, a basement, and the good old days. I was stepping on stage after Bruce McCullough and Brian Hart and Jeremy Hotz was even there at that time, and all of those.
They would have been
guys.
young then too.
Sorry.
They would have been quite young then too, but
they were young. Yeah, they were young.
But still, I think Jeremy Hotz, he was probably still appearing on like CTV at that time, CBC.
Yeah.
the comic specials and things. And Bruce, of course, well,
Mhm.
Kids in the Hall, that started in the 80s, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. I started before all that comics thing happened, and I mean, this was like, yeah, Jim Carrey had left Toronto and he'd gone down to the US, and I mean, I was on stage at the same time Norm Macdonald was.
Wow.
Wow.
I remember at the Yuck Yucks that was in Yorkville, which is now an absolute comedy club, which I play when I go to Toronto in the summer usually, and uh, that was a Yuck Yucks, Yorkville. No, no, uh, what's it called? Young and Eglinton is what it was, and is where it is. Anyway, um, I played that club, and I remember the layout of the club, and I remember uh, I was there when Norm Macdonald was going on stage, and he wasn't even on SNL at that point.
Right.
He
Sure,
wasn't
sure.
even in Toronto. He was, or he wasn't even in New York. He was in Toronto, and just to stand up like everybody else. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
hmm
So you
yeah.
like did you met him and have like had
Oh yeah, yeah,
combos
yeah.
with him?
Sure, I would meet him. I don't think he would remember me. I saw him perform in Calgary a couple of times at least, and I don't think he would have remembered me because I was from Toronto days and stuff like that. But
Yeah, like
you know,
if it was today, I don't think he'd remember much.
yeah, that's right. I don't think
No.
he'd remember much today. That's right.
No.
But anyway,
I,
no,
I
he
say
was,
that with all due respect. He's one
of
of the
course,
greatest
of
of all
course.
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
No, he's a
But
major
he would
talent for
he
sure.
would like us to
Hmm.
make fun of it.
I
Of
think so, yeah.
course, absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So how did your first set go? Your first set ever?
Hmm.
Uh,
I have it recorded. I was just out of theater school. It was at the Yorkville Club in Toronto in the black box there, and it was okay. I mean, I think I'm not sure, but I think a lot of comedians will remember their very first time, sex mostly, but also comedy, and they'll remember their first time. And I remember my first time on stage. Like I said, I think I recorded it, and you think at the time it's okay, but you listen back to it and it's bad, but it was what it was. I was doing something kind of Stephen Wrightish back then. I
Okay.
was
okay,
kind of a
one-liners,
one
kind of.
liner kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, but I remember. I mean, I can still listen to that. I mean, I don't, but if I listen to that recording, I can hear my ex-girlfriend laugh, and I can hear a couple of my theater school buddies are in the audience, and I can hear them laugh, and so yeah, yeah, it's a
See,
life moves on, right?
this is where it would be great if we actually prepared for the podcast and maybe
Mm.
could play the clip or something.
Yeah,
I
right.
know, I know. Do you
Mhm.
still have a copy of it?
I'll have to look. I've got a copies of tons of stuff, but I think I have it. I think I have it on MP3.
That would be
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, sure. I'll try and get it to you guys.
Oh, that would be great.
And we'll edit it in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sure. That'd be nice. Yeah.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
sure.
do you know
We
what
just,
do you know what the date would be of that approximately?
oh, Jesus. I'm really bad on dates. I have no idea. I graduated from theater school in 1989, I
Chances
believe.
are it would be on an old video camera, so it probably has the date right on
Yeah.
Well,
it
it
on the
w-
clip down in the little corner there in
it
white
wasn't
digital letters.
it wasn't video recorded. It was just audio, and it was like
Oh, okay.
it was one of those mini tapes, probably.
Right.
Right.
Used to record stuff on the mini tapes.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I
Mhm.
remember when I started, I got one of those, and I was like, I'm set because I hate writing notes. This will make it so much easier. I can record everything funny that I say, make
Sure.
it into a bit. And I never ever used the tape recorder once. The
Oh,
little
really?
mini recorder. I'd carry it around with me.
Hmm.
I never bothered to use it.
I use
My
I use
phone.
my phone for it all the time.
Yeah,
With
I use my phone too. I mean, I used to. The thing about it is it's just very good in case you say something off the cuff and you got to go, what did I say? How did I say it?
Mm-hmm.
Etc. or a joke's working, and then the next few times you do it, it's not working. You go, well, what did I do? How did I do that the first time? Yeah. So, but the that little those I mean, again, the problem with that recording, I don't know about you guys, but when I record, I don't often listen to that. Not very often. It's nice to have the recordings, but I don't listen to them very often, you know.
Yeah.
I find there's something weird about seeing and hearing yourself on film. Like even with this podcast, I kind of have trouble watching it. I'm like, is this how the world sees me? Is this what I look like? Is that what I
Yes.
sound
I'm
like?
very much the
Yeah.
same. But like when with the text, I do like speech to text,
Right.
which
Oh, yeah.
you know, for any sort of ideas or writing ideas or whatever, and just
That
Yeah.
combined with autocorrect are just a dream team
Right.
from heaven, eh?
they really are. It really is.
That's right. I like
Was I
AI.
writing in French? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. That's very true.
Again?
Yeah. I like anything that makes me feel or look more intelligent than I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you guys use AI?
um, yes.
I,
Yeah.
I know it's used on our editing end to a degree, but if you're talking like for writing material
Yeah.
and stuff,
No.
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 I don't use
Yeah.
it for writing, but you
I
know,
I actually tried it once to see what would happen.
sure.
Tried using the AI to generate some jokes and everything. Thinking, yeah, this will be a nice little easy path. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and they're awful.
Generally awful. Yeah.
Very awful.
Not
It's-
creative. It is.
which is good.
It
Comedy is
good.
something we need to keep human.
But there
you
is
know.
some funny things.
totally
Like I
agree.
remember when ChatGPT first came out, me and a couple buddies were playing around with it, and we started create a song in a country music song about an artist going through an existential crisis,
Oh yes.
and then it just gives you this whole song.
I
And very honky tonk, oh, I lost my girlfriend, and I lost my this, and I lost my that. And then we just decided to mix it up in the genres and give us a hip hop song about a gangster in a existential crisis.
it's so advanced. Like I go looking for. I'm always because Guns N' Roses are back together again. They're
Sure.
actually recording a new album, and I keep looking for the leaks online, right, of the new music, and all of these songs pop up, but they're all AI generated Guns N' Roses songs. And it does sound like something they do. Like if you could go back 10 years before AI and you played this to me, I would be convinced this
Oh,
is
for sure.
at least the board tracks for the new album.
Oh, there's some
It's-
crazy stuff.
It's amazing what it can do.
Yeah.
What's going to be even more impressive is when it creates those super machines that rise up and take over humanity. And Skynet becomes self-aware.
That's very true. And
We're not far from that.
I know, and that's where I'd like to just take a moment to say we like you, AI.
Yeah, that's to welcome our powerful overlords.
Just whenever you do, seize control. I got your back.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
Brian, when you headline the Boho Comedy Show next week, my phone is actually going up before you for a 10-minute spot.
Nice.
So,
Yes.
you know.
Well,
High five.
as far as AI writing jokes, it can't write jokes. It doesn't write jokes. Maybe I'm not using it correctly because there's a lot of different AI apps now
Yes.
that are very for specific things. But first of all, whenever I ask them to tell me a joke about such and such or whatever, it's always a riddle. It's not a joke. And I go, that's not a joke, AI. That's a riddle. It's like how many
Maybe the AI is thinking that is the joke, though.
No, no, it's just that AI doesn't get it, and I think ours is one of the last, quite honestly, unless AI steals, which it has certainly been known to do, but AI, it it it's one of the last places where humans can do it and AI can't, because
Right.
there's things that are just funny and they don't make sense, but they're
Yes.
just funny. I'm reminded of a joke that David Brenner. I always think about this joke. David Brenner used to have this joke. Do you guys know who David Brenner is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Oh
myself.
yeah. Anyway, he's a comedian from the 70s, 80s, but he's passed
Did
away. But he used to
mhm.
do this joke about he was on the subway and somebody was sitting on a newspaper, and he said, "Excuse me, sir, are you reading that?" It makes absolutely no sense,
But
uh, but it's funny, right?
mhm.
It makes no sense, but it was funny, and it is funny, and uh, it's just, again, that's what's so great about what we do. You know,
Mm.
Joe can tell a joke, and I can tell another joke, and neither one of us is the same, or we're just very, very different. And AI can't figure it out, and thank God for that,
Oh,
because
Yeah,
otherwise
100%.
we'd be out of work, right?
it's the difference in so many things that AI can't do, like style. Having your own style, your own flair, your own
Cadence.
you know, technique, the way you perform. There's so much it can't do.
Yeah.
In addition to, like you said, writing good jokes. That being said, I
Hmm.
still find it funnier than half the guys I see on an average open mic.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
I mean, let's face it, comedy is very crowded now. There's a lot of people doing it, and there's even more. Well, there's a lot of people doing it, and you would classify a lot of those people into the category of they're just beginning. And everybody sucks at the beginning. 99% of us suck at the beginning. Only 1% are a Brent butt,
This is true.
who are just incredible out of the gate. That's just the way it is. So
Well,
you're going to watch a lot of that.
I look at it this way. A few summers ago, I tried a construction job for the first time in my life. I tried a construction job. I looked at it. I thought, I can do that. Sure, I can do that. I can do
Mm,
construction. And I
yeah.
lasted a week, and then I got fired. It's kind of the same way with comedy, with the open micers. They're
Mm,
looking at it. I can do that. I
yeah.
can try it, and
Sure. Yeah.
eventually, you'd think we'd weed through them, but there's still some of them that are like, "Oh, I've been doing this for 10 years, and
Sure.
I got a solid five." You know,
I mean, everybody's got their process, and I don't think a lot of people even know what their process is. I mean, how would you know unless you're discovering it as you go? And even me, I mean, not even me. I mean, look, I've been doing this for a long time. So I have developed a way to work, a process, and my ability to hit with jokes is uh, much better than it ever has been. But it took me a long, long time to get there, and that's just time and work. And sometimes it's stage time, and sometimes it's not being on stage and doing the work off stage. A lot of
right?
everybody's got their process, but
Could you give us a little bit of insight on what that process is? Like, how do you, where does the joke come from? How do you
well,
develop it?
right, the joke usually comes from AI. No, I'm
Gotcha,
just
right.
kidding. I knew I had to bring that back, but um, no,
Bless you.
Excuse me.
it just it comes from taking in massive amounts of information, and then the more information I take in, the more setups I hear, and then I write the joke, because not everything is a setup. I mean,
Hmm.
but I just did a joke, did a show for nurses who work at the Arthur Child Cancer Center. And I wrote a joke, tons of jokes, tons of jokes. But one of the jokes that I will put in my regular act is that, a lot of people are affected by cancer. A lot of people. Like I read this the other day that 1 out of 2 people will be affected by cancer in their lifetime. Here's the joke. I did a show for some nurses that work at the Arthur Child Cancer Center. They, administer chemo to patients, etc. And so I were reading tons about cancer, and the joke that the setup that I heard is 1 out of 2 people are touched by cancer in their lifetime. Cancer is ruthless. It's like P. Diddy. That's the joke. And
Okay.
it needs the word touched in there, right?
Right.
Because that's
Yeah, because
that's the lead in, right? And then
Yeah, yeah.
so you see, this is an example of, I heard that statistic, I changed it to touched, and then, being touched inappropriately is P. Diddy. So I joined those things together, and there's the joke, right?
Gotcha.
and it also shows you that's the beauty of stand-up comedy is how one word can make such a difference
Yes,
in what we
absolutely.
do. The right
Yes,
word in the right position,
right. Yes,
one word can mean everything and can make or break an entire joke.
yes,
So
absolutely.
where
Yes.
I commend you there, um, I have to admit, if I was asked to do a show for like the cancer unit, I would not. I wouldn't even be able to begin to sit down and go, well, I'm going to write cancer jokes.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up with cancer bits. I would be
Right.
like, oh, I'm staying the heck away from cancer, and I'm going to focus on my act, kind of thing, right?
Sure.
And hope that there's nothing cancer related.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I commend you on
Well, I
that.
see.
Like
I see.
you took
Yeah.
the bull on by the horns there.
Yeah.
That's for a comic. That's very
Yeah.
risky waters, as you well know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
It is. It,
and,
it is. I mean, that's kind of what I do. Is what I like. I'm going into different situations, and I find out
but
about who I'm in front of, and then I write the material.
but
And it's not all going to hit. It didn't all hit. That's for sure.
well,
Um,
some of it went into remission.
oh, there you go. Yeah.
Ooh.
What do you got for the children's hospital for us?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. No, I mean, it's uh, there's the thing, the corporate idea, doing a corporate show is it's a juggling act, I mean,
and
I know from,
it can be a minefield too. I
yeah,
mean, some places, as you well know, the restrictions they'll put on you
hmm,
before,
sure,
what you
Yeah.
can and can't talk about, what they don't want to hear.
yeah,
Trash the boss. Don't trash the boss.
Yeah, and it's so refreshing when you walk into a corporate and they're like, "Oh no, we're all adults here. You do what you want."
hmm,
Mm.
sure,
But that rarely happens.
yeah. I mean, I I do those corporate shows, and there's uh, two kind of reasons that I do them. One is to challenge myself to write for them and what they're about. And the second is when if I do write jokes like I just told you, I can take that and use that in my act, right?
Right.
So
Mm.
it's an opportunity to develop more material. So it really kicks me in the butt in terms of like I'm gonna challenge myself to write some stuff, and so you know and also the great thing about it is that it gives you something to focus on. Here's the topic, write something on that. So that's what it does for me anyway.
And I'd imagine that like a corporate gig pays relatively well.
That's what I was just gonna say. The
Like,
one thing that you left out there, the third reason for doing corporates, they pay much better than your average show.
Right. Well, that's true. Uh, it is true.
but does it feel like a little bit of stealing?
No, no,
I don't think so either.
No.
it depends. It depends, but I think
To me,
y-
it feels like going up another rung on the ladder.
mm,
You know,
yeah,
it's a sense of, you know, it's a sense of making it like
mm,
when you get to do corporates
Mm.
and things like that.
right, yeah. I mean,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's I'm trying to remember what your question was. What was your question? Just in terms of
Oh God, whatever it was, we lost it long ago.
more in terms of money and stuff. It certainly wasn't the reason. I use it as a challenge, and I
I
enjoy
Mm.
the challenge. And it there's just so many factors involved in something. Uh, I've been uh, I've had to perform in bars doing corporates, and they said there was just going to be just them, and then it turns out there's four other parties in the bar, and
right.
it's so noisy that you can't hear anything, and you can't hear me. And I've spent all this time working on their show, and then they can't hear, just like you said, Joe. You got punchlines with one word, and they can't hear it, so they think you're bombing, and then it sucks. But um, you know, like this, it depends on my time too. But this is what I do for a living, and I enjoy it immensely. And so I spend a lot of time on these corporates, preparing these corporates, and I get very disappointed when I show up and I've worked. I mean, I'm not joking. I've spent literally on that particular show, that corporate for the nurses, I probably spent 2 weeks preparing
Wow.
that stuff. My first half hour of my show was for them, specifically written for them. Um, it's insane what I did on from some levels, but on the other level, it's like I'm good and I can do it, so I do it. And like I said, I also get jokes for myself out of it in my public act. But
Yeah, that's
it doesn't pay. I mean, if I looked at the amount of time I spent working on that show and the amount of money that I got for that show, it would be like 50 cents an hour. You know,
Mm.
I mean, really, literally. But
Yes,
I enjoy what I do. So what are you
but
going
you
to
can
do?
also look at it, the jokes you got out of it. If you're getting new
Yes.
material
hmm
Right.
for your regular act,
Yes.
that's a payoff right there.
Yes. Absolutely.
You know, that's like a carpenter getting some high powered saw that he needs in his arsenal. You know
Right.
that.
Yes.
So there is other payoffs, I guess.
Oh, yes. No, like I said, I can't just do it for them and then take it. And I have jokes in my act I'm still doing that I did. Like, I got a joke about a guy who was a Toronto Maple Leafs fan at a wedding I did, and I still do that joke, you know,
And
because I wrote it and I use it in my regular act. So
and in
there you
addition
go.
to that, the stuff you did for the nurses here, all you got to do is get a letter of recommendation or something from them floating around to
Sure.
hospitals everywhere. To
Yeah. Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can use that same stuff.
Right. That's definitely
So
that's definitely the truth. This business, there's just no guarantees in this business, right? So you do your best and then you move on, right?
hmm
absolutely.
We're
Mhm.
gonna promote the show.
Yeah, so actually starting later on tonight is the first night of the Boho Comedy Night at Mikey's Juke Joint
Yeah,
in the Bowness
congratulations.
neighborhood. Thank
Hmm.
you.
Yeah,
And of course, Brian will be headlining the show next week on June the 3rd.
beautiful.
So
Hmm.
make sure you definitely don't want to miss it. Make sure you come down to watch Brian Stollery.
And you can see me bartend.
And you can see Paul Bartend. I'll be hosting all the shows. I'm headlining tonight and then hosting all the shows thereafter.
Great.
So it should be a great time.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks
It's
for having me, guys.
oh, of course. We went for the best off the bat. We got you, got Dave Nystrom next the week after you. We're getting high end talent. It's not there's no walk-ons or anything. It's not an open mic type situation. A
Hmm.
real professional comedy show
Hmm.
with some great up and coming talent as well. But
Right.
make sure that you check out Brian and people. Where can they follow you on your socials, which we will also print in the comments below. But
Sure. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, uh, Twitter as well, and they can always just find me through my website, which is thecomedian.ca.
nice,
That's
nice domain.
yeah,
That's amazing.
That's a score.
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Nice work.
Do you have any other upcoming shows you want to promote that are happening soon?
I'm
You
doing.
want to put out there?
I'm just doing a couple of corporates. I'm at the Comedy Cave, which is my home club, and I'll perform there usually Wednesday and Thursday, and that's when I'm working on material and honing material that I've performed at corporates and trying to figure out how to get it into my regular act, basically. And also I'm writing other material. I don't know. Um, I got a bit of an ADHD and thing going on where I've just got so much material that you end up not even focusing on
On one.
one thing because there's just so much going on in your brain. So
Mhm.
uh
Well, you know what you should do? Get one of those little tape recorder things, and
hey,
then you can record the
that's what I
ideas.
need. I gotta get one of those mini tape recorders. That's
there,
right.
there you go.
Speaking of that, you can hear my first album. It's on 8-track.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Hmm.
Nice.
Speaking of
I'm pretty
albums,
sure I've got that in my dad's garage. I can
Yeah,
find
there you go.
can
He hasn't gotten rid of it.
can we
Right on,
quickly tell
right
them
under the.
because our viewers might want to go download your albums
Oh yeah, sure.
that you have. So if you want to shoot that out there,
Yeah, that's great. Check out I have 4 comedy albums on Spotify
Excellent.
and or Apple Music. So either of those, go to those, just type in my name, Brian, Brian, last name is Stollery, Stollery. Type that in, you'll find my 4 comedy albums, and yeah, I'd appreciate the plays because those are getting a lot of plays. So
I
I'm very pleased about that.
I recommend For Brian Out Loud.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
recommend that one.
right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I guess the last question our fans are wondering right now, tell them where they can find your OnlyFans.
Oh, that's right. Well, I right after this, I'm gonna stand up, and you're gonna. I'll just go right into my OnlyFans, and you can see my penis.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Well, I guess
Young viewers, avert your eyes.
That's right. Yeah.
I guess that's pretty much all the time we have today.
Okay. Great.
But make sure, if you're watching this, make sure you come down June 3rd to Mikey's Juke Joint to see Brian Stollery perform a
Mhm.
headline set. They'll be
Mhm.
doing a full set there. So it's a great opportunity to check it out.
Yeah. Mikey's Juke Joint in Bowness. Patio open now.
That's right.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, guys. Thanks so much for having
We're
me. I
looking forward
appreciate
to
it.
No problem.
Thank you for being on the podcast. We hope to have you back another day.
Hmm.
And then the questions will be more fun.
No worries.
I look forward to meeting
Sounds
you
good.
face to face next week.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
All right. Well, everybody, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that it'll let you know every time a new video drops. And of course, folks, We'll have Brian's information in the comments below. Make sure you comment. Let us know what you think. Somebody's going to win a gift card for $100, but you have to be a subscriber to win, and you have to make a comment to enter.
Later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and please share the video. Don't be afraid to share this commercial with your friends too.